Welcome, and thanks for stopping by. Whether you're watching us on YouTube or listening to our podcast on one of your favorite platforms, I'm glad you're here. At this time, I would like to thank our partners and sponsors for their dedication to helping the show to grow. We cannot do what we do without their help. Hey everybody, this is the Millennium Beat. I'm glad that you stopped in today. I have Jeff K on the computer, and we're going to do a little interview, and we're going to know about his life. So, Jeff, thanks for being here today.
Thank you. Very much appreciate it.
All right, Jeff, we met on the computer and just talked a little bit on the phone, and we talked a little bit on the computer, but I really don't know a lot about you. So let's talk about you, and first of all, where are you located right now, where you're sitting?
I am located in Charlestown, West Virginia.
West Virginia. I met a girl from West Virginia. You don't sound like her.
No, and this isn't like the movie Wrong Turn either.
Okay. I don't know that movie. Let's start from your early days. Where were you born and raised and stuff like that?
I was born and raised in Potomac, Maryland.
Okay. Now, is that close to Washington, D.C.?
It's about 45 minutes from D.C.
Okay. Well, is that with traffic?
I never go down to D.C., believe it or not.
No. So you grew up there. And tell me a little bit about I always say, little tiny Jeff. What was he like? What was it like growing up with, being yourself? What was it like?
I was a very shy guy.
Me too.
I was an introvert. I really kept to myself.
Okay. Now, did you grow up an only child?
No, I do have a sister who's 6 years younger than me.
And that's it, just the two of you?
Just the two of us.
The oldest of two?
Yes.
Did you get along pretty good with your sister? Or?
Yeah. Yeah, my dad passed away in 2008. My mom passed away in 2018. So my sister and I were close.
So 10 years later. Okay. So what was little Jeff like? Did he have any goals or any ambitions or anything like that?
Little Jeff wanted to be a private detective.
It's better than me. I wanted to be an astronaut.
And to this day, I'm a huge Sherlock Holmes fan, Agatha Christie, Hercule Poirot.
You watch those CSI shows, like Las Vegas and
occasionally.
I've watched a few of them. But yeah, so Sherlock, the newer Sherlock or the old ones?
Either one.
Anyone.
I've pretty much seen everything from Basil Rathbone up to Sherlock with I can't remember the actor.
It's cool. So you wanted to be that. Now, obviously, unfortunately, you're not a private investigator.
No.
Or are you? No. Yeah. You get into a whole different field. Now, talking about that, and before we go any more further into youth and stuff like that, is one of the things I found out when we were talking, we had the same premise of converting old stuff to new. So tell me about how you got involved in that. I'll tell you my story of how I got involved. But go ahead, you first.
When I was a kid, I was going to synagogue, church.
Okay.
And my grandmother passed away at my feet when I was 7.
Oh, wow. Was she old or?
Compared to a 7-year-old? Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. That's right. I mean, God, when I was younger, I thought my best friend's dad was really old and found out he was only 40. And he wasn't that old.
Yeah, it's all perspective.
Yeah.
But
right.
No, she wasn't that old. I think she was in her 60s.
So okay. So your grandmother unfortunately passed at your feet. So what made that get into your business of converting old stuff into new? What?
Well,
that triggered it probably.
When I saw it, I realized, that was my first instance with death, and I realized, well, we're not permanent structures here. We're on loan, so to speak.
Now, I got to ask this question because it also depends on 7 years old, were you very close to your grandmother?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Okay. Yeah. So that makes it even harder. But yeah, so you were close to your grandmother at 7 years old. So this is
a, an event in your life that kind of really set things in motion, in a sense, and emotionally, it set in motion.
It didn't exist back then, but if I look back on it, it's almost like PTSD because I can still close my eyes and see it and hear it to this day. If I bring you forward in time,
Okay.
I lost one of my dogs 6 months ago.
Oh, wow.
I had a vision of him about 2 months ago.
Oh, okay.
So I know he's doing amazing. She's doing amazing.
Okay. It's like we always hope that our animals are in our afterlife, and some people say they talk. So that would be interesting. It's like tell me all the things you couldn't tell me on Earth. So you lost the dog, and obviously you lost your parents, and then you lost your grandparent. And now that you talked about your grandmother, now was your grandfather not around, or did he die earlier?
Yeah. No, he died in the 80s.
In the 80s, okay.
Yeah, my dad was kind enough to let him stay with us.
Okay, so you got to know him really well.
Yeah, I got to know him really, really well.
Okay, so that's another hard thing. Now, you were obviously not 7 at that time. How old were you when your grandfather died?
About 20.
20, okay. Going back to your grandmother, which set you on motion and stuff like that. What really pushed you into converting old stuff to new stuff?
Well, during that time, I also lost a few pets.
Okay.
And my parents had photos, and at the time, being only 7, I started to collect birthday cards, holiday cards that were personal to me.
Right.
So as I got older, the more stuff I collected, and technology changes, as we both know.
Oh yeah, of course it does.
And I remember photos fading and everything, even if they're in your little plastic sleeve things.
Right, they do.
Super glued in, which that's always fun to take out to digitalize.
Oh yeah, it is.
So after I really didn't start this as a business until about 2018.
Okay.
Then when my 2018 was the same year my mom died. Okay. And we were cleaning out her house, and unbeknownst to me, she was also saving cards and personal effects of mine.
Oh, wow.
So I literally have the very first birthday card that was ever given to me.
Wow.
I have the first Valentine's Day card I made for my parents.
So you started making what, slideshows out of those things, or scanning them, or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you got into that. So now, do you still do that today, or?
Yeah. Yeah.
So okay, so you still do that. Is that your main thing that you do, or?
That is the main thing I do. And I'm actually getting ready to launch another company, actually.
Okay. Now, what's that company?
As you and I discussed, pets.
Okay.
I want to do pet legacies.
Oh, there'd definitely be a market for that, because because your pet. Sometimes you're closer to your pet than your family, because they're so unconditional. Yeah. So that's cool that you've got into animals and stuff, because people, as I said, they're fur babies, they're kids, and just as much as human babies. The only nice thing about human babies, they get older and they move out of the house, or they pay rent, or where your fur babies, they're there the whole time, and they don't last long like kids do. Kids are supposed to outlast their parents most of the time. Animals, basically in your lifetime, especially if you give a young person, like not a teenager, but in their toddler years, a cat or a dog, and they grow up with it. They build up a bond because they grow up together. But eventually, that animal's not going to be here. I mean, really, my cats live longer than 12 years. I've heard of cats living 20 years or more. It's just in general. So that's good that you're getting into the memory. How long have you been doing that?
Since 2018. I've been studying it since forever.
Okay. Do you find there's a market for it? I mean, do you find people calling you up and saying, "Hey, I want this done, this work done"?
I find there's more of a market for pets than there are for people.
So you do that. So you've been doing that since 2018. That's cool. So, so what else can you tell me a little bit about yourself? I mean, other than you love animals and you love people. What else is about Jeff? What else can my audience know?
Well, I'm a huge techie.
Okay.
Between, let's see, before 2018,
okay,
I spent 20 years as international project manager.
For what major company? I mean, can you say?
It was Sprint. Then it turned into WorldCom. Then now it's T-Mobile. Yeah, and then sometime in between there was Nextel.
So you did that, and okay. So basically, it sounds like you're just doing the conversion of the photographs and stuff like that now. You're not really doing anything else.
But it's like, and I know you'll understand this, everything's got a story to tell.
Yeah.
People.
And you try to help people tell their stories, kind of like what I do. I encourage the world one story at a time. And so somebody out there listening today, if there's a pet lover, this is a great show for them. They love pets.
Yes.
And we'll connect them with you. That way you can do, because you do stuff, I'm sure not just local, you do stuff all over the internet.
Oh, I do stuff nationwide.
Nationwide. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I have people all over the world listening at times. So you just never know what people will call you up from. So you never know why people tune into a podcast. How did they hear that about that?
I have done stuff international. So
okay,
PAL tapes and everything else. So yeah, I work with people to actually store their stuff as well, because it shouldn't just be in one format. And I would agree. I wouldn't just put it on a cloud. I would put maybe something in the cloud, one in your house, one in someplace else.
Right. Now, do you find it's a generational thing? Do you find most of your clientele are probably 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s compared to somebody in their 20s?
Yeah.
We were talking about that yesterday in the interview I did yesterday. Kids today, they don't really care about where they came from. Their grandparents or great grandparents, and they don't care about the old country.
No, it's funny. They have a different problem than my generation. Mm-hmm. Their problem is my son's in that generation. Right. And now, as you know, you can pick up your phone and take 100 pictures with the snap of a button.
Yeah, that's the problem. We have too many pictures now.
My son lives in San Diego. And I told him to find me this picture with this date, with this person, with this animal. I'll be generous. I'll give you 15 seconds.
Yeah, I bet he couldn't do it.
Like I have 3 heads.
Right.
He's like, I can't do that. I'm like, what do you mean? We put somebody on the moon with a computer bigger than this. And
it depends on the software that you use. Like if you use like Apple, like photo thing, the photo app that's in there, you can, if you want to spend some time, it scans the face and you can put them under and know every picture that I'm in, it will show you and stuff like that. All right. So anything else you want to tell me about yourself, Jeff? Anything else you'd like to share with our audience about yourself?
It's an old adage.
Okay.
As you know, a picture says 1,000 words.
Right. I've heard that.
So I know, and I'm not knocking people who do autobiographies and all this other stuff.
Right.
They're awesome. But if a picture says 1,000 words, imagine what all your photos, videos, and things that you have you've inherited
Mm-hmm.
would say about you and your family if you came across it or inherited it and
Right.
preserved it for your next generation.
Do you find, though, that they don't really care about that stuff? I mean, as I said, the young generation, the 30s or 40s or below.
Well, there's what I've noticed is that yes, if you're in your 20s and everything is going well, no, you don't care about it. But
Right.
or you may not care about it. I'll clarify myself. But if, from my perspective, if you've lost someone or if you've lost your parents,
Right.
I find you then become maybe a little more religious. Maybe you become a little more. You want to know a little bit more about your background. Maybe you get a little more into your genealogy.
Right.
So maybe you might then take it a step further and become your family historian or your genealogical detective or something.
Yeah, I think the older you get, you might, especially closer you get to the grave, you start appreciating things that you don't think about when you're 20 years old, that you think you're going to live forever. So basically, let's talk in closing and wrapping this up is how somebody who is interested in preserving the memories of their family or their pets and stuff like that, how can people get a hold of you and share with them different ways that they can get?
Well, thanks, Jeff,
Okay.
at mydigital-memories.com.
So is my digital all one word?
Yes, my digital is all one word.
All word. Okay.
Then you have a little hyphen.
Okay. And I'll put in the show notes, and I also will put it on the screen so they actually will see what we're saying. So that's your email address. Do you have a website?
My website is www.mydigital-memories.com.
Okay.
Or you can just call me, 703-861-2793.
Okay, what's just curiosity, since we're doing this is more like a marketing thing, is what's the turnaround? If I send you, say, okay, I call you, I get information, I send you the stuff, how long are we talking before the product is ready?
Depends how much stuff you send.
Right, if I send you a lot. The reason why I asked that, I used to get a lot of memorial services. People would, their family has died, someone has died, and all the kids are putting together the picture, and they say, hey, can you have this slideshow? When is it for? Tomorrow. So it's like,
yeah, I can do it, and as you probably know, if you do a memorial service, figure what 100 slides equals about 10 minutes.
Right.
Some of the stuff that I get, you wouldn't believe some of the stuff I get.
I can just imagine. A wild imagination here. I guess it would be true. So that's how people can get a hold of you. I'm going to recommend people, and as I said, now that you're a guest, and all those things that you told me will be. So if somebody in the future is watching this video, and it could be a year from now or something, just go to the guest page of the Millennium Beat, and you'll see your picture and your name, Jeff K. So that and they click on it. Underneath it will be links, and they can go from there. So. But Jeff, thank you very much for being on. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. I appreciate the invite.
Guys, thanks for tuning in to the Millennium Beat. This has been an interesting, different show than what we normally do, but it's good. If you want to store and remember your people that have gone on before you and you want to remember them, talk to Jeff. Follow him on his social media and get a hold of him, and he'll help you out. So everybody, thanks for tuning into the Millennium Beat. This is Kevin James. I am the host. I'm glad that you stopped in, and we'll see you next week with another different type of interview, but we'll be here again. So see you next week.
This has been a Millennium Beat LLC production. Views and opinions of the guest are not always the views and opinions of the Millennium Beat LLC. Check us out on social media, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, and TikTok at the Millennium Beat, or on Twitter at Millennium_Beat. If you would like to partner with us to reach the world, go to our website for more information. You can go to themillenniumbeat.com or tmb2000.net. Your financial support is greatly appreciated. We couldn't do all we do without your support. The Millennium Beat just updated our website from the ground up. Check it out at themillenniumbeat.com, or you can get there by using millenniumbeat.com or tmb2000.net, where you'll be redirected to the millenniumbeat.com's homepage. I want to thank Mass Inbound for their awesome work on our website. If you're looking for somebody to build your site, I recommend them. You can reach them at massinbound.com. That is massinbound.com. These are some of the things that you can find on our website. Homepage. You can watch our latest YouTube video or listen to our audio podcast. Also listed are some of the platforms our audio podcast is on. You'll find out when the next podcast will air and who the guest will be. On the top right, you will find 2 red buttons, Learn How to Help and Become a Guest. Under Learn How to Help, you can become a partner, sponsor, contributor, or contribute to the future Millennium Bus. You can give one-time or monthly recurring. The choice is yours. The other button is Be a Guest. Click it, go to the form, and fill it out, and we will get back to you. We would love to hear your story. Click the About Us drop-down where you'll find stats, where we are reaching people, and to find more information on our sponsors. Click on the podcast drop-down, then click on the Calendar tab, where it will tell you when the shows will air and who will be on them. Or if you need to know about any meetups of the Millennium Beat staff, partners, or listeners. Also, there might be on the calendar an event at which the Millennium Beat staff will be at. Click the Guest tab for all previous guests, links to their website, social media pages, and any store they might have. Click the Forms drop-down. There you'll find a release, Be a Guest, or Become a Sponsor form.